internment camp in Idaho. And each of these represents a block. A block consisted of 12 barracks, a mess hall, laundry room, and shower rooms. And each single barrack was divided into 6 family units, or 6 rooms, separate rooms, that would house one family. And they had different sized rooms for different sized families. And we had no running water in the barrack. We had to go to the central bathroom to get water if we wanted it. So yeah, we suffered the internment. We lived in Block 32, which is about this territory there. So this internment camp or incarceration camp in Minidoka, Idaho, housed approximately 10,000 people of Japanese ancestry. Roughly 4,000 from the Portland or Oregon area, and then 6,000 from the Seattle or Washington area. So we suffered the internment incarceration until the end of 1944.
And was that you and your mother and father?
Yeah, that was our whole family.
Mr. Sakamoto, what have you done to make the community a better place?
Make the community a better place?
Mm-hmm.
Well, hopefully by talking about the Constitution, violations of the Constitution, can help make this a better place to live. If people are aware that the United States Constitution is there to protect them. And then when you realize that the Constitution is there to protect the citizens and residents of the United States, then when you see violations, those violations should be reported and discussed.
Yeah, I guess I'll play it. What is that? What's that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Sakamoto, I'm not sure if I'm pronounced this right, but what is the Nikkei endowment and how did you get involved in it?
Oregon Nikkei Endowment?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Oregon Nikkei Endowment, I think I mentioned, was incorporated as a 501c3 nonprofit corporation in 1988. And the reason for its existence at that particular time was the desire among many of the Japanese American community to help construct the Japanese American Historical Plaza. The Japanese American Historical Plaza is a memorial to the lives and experiences of Japanese in the state of Oregon. And the reason that came into being is because of the Executive Order 9066, which led to the incarceration of people of Japanese ancestry. That executive order was signed by the President of the United States on February 19, 1942. And that was the first step that led to the incarceration of 120,000 people of Japanese ancestry, or their removal from the west coast of the United States. Every year since 1978, I think. Yeah, 1978. On each February 19th, the Japanese American communities have a sponsor or put together a day of remembrance to commemorate the signing of the Executive Order 9066. Hopefully so that no one will ever forget what led to the incarceration or unconstitutional incarceration of people of Japanese ancestry. The first day of remembrance was held February 19th, 1978 in Seattle, and the second one was held February 19, 1979 here in Portland. One of the attendees to that day of remembrance was a landscape architect named Robert Morase. And he was so inspired that he declared and vowed to himself that there must be a memorial built as a permanent reminder of the incarceration and the violations of the United States Constitution. So therefore he discussed his idea with Bill Naito, a member of the Japanese American community. And when Bill Naito, he was politically active, so when he heard that the city of Portland was going to expand North Waterfront Park, then he called Bob Morase and said, this is our chance to put your plan into being, have erect a permanent memorial to the Japanese in the state of Oregon. So Bob Morase submitted or created a design and submitted it to the city council. And his plan was one of 4 plans submitted, proposals submitted to the city, and his plan won out. So that was in 1988. So beginning with the approval by the city of Portland to use that design to create a memorial to the Japanese in Oregon, we formed Oregon Nikkei Endowment as a nonprofit 501c3 corporation so that we could collect money to create and construct the Japanese American Historical Plaza. And that was a $500,000 project. It would cost several $million more today, but at that time $500,000 was a whole lot of money. So we had the dedication of the Historical Plaza on August the 3rd, 1990. So it took us 2 or 3 years to collect $500,000, and that's why Oregon Nikkei Endowment was created. And Oregon Nikkei Endowment now has a second project, which is called the Oregon Nikkei Legacy Center, which is kind of a museum where we collect artifacts and memorabilia and literature about the Japanese in Oregon.
And you said there's a annual day of remembrance for the signing of what document?
Executive Order 9066.
What do you feel are our society's greatest challenges?
Greatest what?
Challenges.
Challenges? Well, there are a lot of challenges. Of course, in my estimation, and from my point of view, overcoming race prejudice is one of the greatest challenges, because race prejudice change has the unfortunate reaction of changing history. And through, well, like I mentioned earlier, I think race prejudice is part of the United States history. And it's a lot of people don't know that, but in thinking about the Naturalization Act of, I think it's 1790, that act says any alien who is white and free may be become a naturalized American citizen. Any alien who is white and free. So that excludes people of Asian ancestry, that excludes people of black ancestry, and so forth. So race prejudice goes way back to that particular document in our legal documents back in 1790. Race prejudice also was based on the Chinese Exclusion Act of, I think it was 1888. And race prejudice was part of the Gentleman's Agreement of 1924, Gentleman's Agreement between the United States and Japan, which excluded immigrants from Japan from entering the United States. So race prejudice, is a very, very negative part of our American history. And if we can, I won't say that you'd be able to eliminate race prejudice. It became not pronounced, but became evident in the last election, which we just saw, President Obama being reelected. But there are certain elements in the opposition party that tried to get race prejudice to affect the outcome of this past election, but it didn't. Fortunately, it didn't work. So it's very, very important because race prejudice can not only affect our Constitution, but it can affect the livelihood and the economics of many people here in the United States.
So would you say that race prejudice could not be eliminated, but maybe minimized to a very low level?
Well, yeah, it can be minimized. You won't be able to eliminate it because it's an attitude that is sometimes nurtured by people who are prejudiced and seek to take advantage of the fact.
Mrs. Sakamoto, what do you want your legacy to be, or like, what do you want people to remember you by?
That I'm a freedom fighter. No, I would like my legacy to be that that I was active in the community and doing things such as this, talking to student groups and various groups. A couple of years ago, I spoke to many, many book clubs because I think it was, this is 2012. I think it was 2009, the book club recommended reading a book about the internment of a family from Hood River, Oregon, the Yasui family. And because of that, which was about the internment and the incarceration, many of the book clubs requested Oregon Nick Endowment for a speaker to come and talk about internment. And that particular year, I talked 24 or 25 different occasions about the internment, which was quite a bit. And I would like my legacy to include my visits with groups such as this to talk about the United States Constitution and the internment of people of Japanese ancestry during World War II.
Mr. Sakamoto, what part of this work gives you the most satisfaction?
What part of what?
This work.
This work?
Yeah.
Well, when I feel that